You know what? I'm gonna move this up. I had to vacuum my studio. I wasn't introduced to it the right way. It's what my soul is made of. And they smell really bad. That is just pure torture for me. Artists, don't take any of this personally. Hi, this is Louise. Welcome to my channel. I'll admit, this video is probably most for me, for myself. It's just a fun thing that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've seen a lot of YouTubers make these ranking videos. I'll have to credit this particular idea to a fellow art YouTuber, Sophia Metropolis. I'll link her channel below for you, to the video that she made. Today, we are ranking every art medium that I have ever tried, and a few that I want to try as well. Here we have our little tier maker list that I made. Let's just get started. First, we have watercolor, and I mean, where could this go other than way up here? I love watercolor. It wasn't always like that, you know. I, like most people, I hated watercolor the first few times I tried it. But then, with some great role models and some basic tutorials, I started to really love it, and now it is what my soul is made of. Then we have soft pastels. This is the latest medium that I tried. I really thought that I was gonna enjoy it because, you know, soft pastels are pretty similar to charcoal, which I love, and we'll get to that in a while as well, but it often is that way. First time you try a medium, it's often gonna feel really awkward, so I don't really know. Maybe I will enjoy doing portraits in soft pastel more. But the thing I didn't like was just how chalky everything got. It just got so messy. I had to vacuum my studio after doing my little soft pastel test. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it here. I want to like it. I didn't really like it the first time I tried it, but I still have hope, you know. I still have hope for pastels. Next up, we have markers. They bleed through the paper. There's something about markers and also ink pens that feels too sterile for me. You know, you can't push and pull, you can't really blend the way I'm used to blending, like with graphite and charcoal. And they smell really bad. Torture. Markers are torture for me. Then we have gouache. I have a complicated relationship with gouache. I have used it quite a lot. I have made some gouache paintings that I really love. I have kind of enjoyed the process of working with gouache, but at the same time, I've also kind of secretly hated it. I can't explain it. It's just the way they are reactivated by water can be pretty annoying when you're trying to layer up your painting. And also, gouache has this kind of chalky, matte, dull look to it, especially when you try to get those really bright whites, you know, and it just comes out either yellow or just really dull off-white. I don't think it's my thing. Maybe in the future. For now, not really my thing. Then we have oils. You might have seen my video that I made on this channel. I just put my hand in some paints where I tried oil paints for the first time. Why did I do that? It wasn't a pleasant experience. I just keep messing this up. What is wrong with me? None of my attempts at working with oils have been a pleasurable experience. I have watched tutorials. I have some really excellent role models, and I really wanted it to be my thing. It's just so smeary and messy, hard to wipe off surfaces. You get it on your hands, you get it everywhere, and it smells, and it's toxic, can be toxic. I know not all oil paints are toxic, but I'm gonna have to put it there. I can't like it. I don't know if I will ever like it. I don't know how oil painters do things, to be honest. I don't know how they stay sane. Anyways, moving on. This is acrylic inks. And this is something that I've been wanting to try for a while. They are liquid and they feel similar to watercolor in both how they look and maybe how to work with them. But at the same time, they are inks and I'm not sure what I think about using inks. So I don't know. It's gonna be a fun experiment whenever I do it. Then we have, pan pastel. I mean, technically this is pastel. It is soft pastel, but this is the pan variety where you work with these palette knives. I've made several videos by now where I work with pan pastel. I only use the black pastel. I kind of consider it a type of charcoal in my mind because that's how I work with it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So pan pastel goes here. Soft pastels, the crayon variety, goes over here, just to keep things clear. Up next, we have ink pens. These are Sigma Micron pens, I think they're called. I have tried liking them. Maybe that will give you a hint of where they're going to go. I have really tried liking ink pens. I have tried learning how to ink stuff, like comic book style, cross-hatching. I love that kind of art. Like, I really drool over ink art. It's the style of tattoo that I love. I would have loved to like draw my own tattoos, but I don't know what it is with me and line art. I just don't enjoy it as much. Not with pencils and not with ink pens. I prefer the more painterly approach to rendering stuff. As with oil paints, I haven't really lost hope, but right now I can't really like them. And then we have pencil, graphite pencils. I mean, this, I just have to put it up there. They're a trusty staple. I use it all the time. I don't really make graphite art though, because it's too gray and it's too shiny. That's why I prefer charcoal, because I need those really deep blacks. But it is a staple, you know? It's what I use to practice in my sketchbook. It's what I use to lay down like the scaffolding and the sketches for my watercolor paintings. It's great, it's versatile. You can erase it, you can blend it. It's a staple. And I think most artists would call graphite pencil a staple. Photography. I don't know. You know, I was thinking I would put it here and not really my thing, but no, I really don't enjoy photography. I put up with it for my thumbnails. I have learned some basic functions of a DSLR camera. I know how to edit photos. I just don't really like the artistic process of it. It's a machine and it doesn't feel organic or intuitive to me. But then we have charcoal, and that is what my soul is made of, definitely. Charcoal was love at first try, at least the first time I tried it for real. Not the first time I was forced to use it for like life drawing classes and stuff like that, because then I hated it. Same with watercolor. I wasn't introduced to it the right way. You have to be introduced to a medium gently, or like the right way. It can't really be forced upon you in a setting that you don't enjoy and with a subject that you don't enjoy, because you're gonna associate bad things to it. The first time I really tried charcoal drawing and I got to draw birds and crows and ravens with it, I loved it so much. As you might know, black is my favorite color. I love black and white art, and I love the rawness of charcoal. I love that it's burnt wood, you know, it's really organic. I love that it's messy. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship. I love how simple it is and versatile. You can erase it, you can blend it, you can go like really photorealistic, or you can go and be really, really artsy, really abstract. Some of the most striking pieces of art that I've seen have been charcoal art. It's just can be really emotional. You can't really do that with watercolor. With watercolor, you need to go in with a plan and you need to execute it like in stages, and you need to be very much in control of what you're doing, whereas with charcoal, you can just let yourself loose and you can let your emotions out. I could go on and on about charcoal, but yeah, there it is. It's what my soul is made of. Probably even more so than watercolor, to be honest, right now. I love watercolor, but I really am obsessed with charcoal. Next up, we have clay sculpting. This is something that I have done a few times, both with the air drying red brownish type of clay. I've tried that a few times, really love it. I have some clay sculpting tools in my drawers. I have been hoarding art materials for I don't know how many years now. I've also tried, I think they're called polymer clays. I have done quite a bit of sculpting with that, and I really love that as well. I would put it in occasional love affairs because it is something that I would like to do more often. That's a really organic medium. The polar opposite of cameras and photography to me. Maybe that's why I love it. But yeah, I would love to do more sculpting. Up next, We have colored pencils. That is just pure torture for me. I don't get colored pencils. You can't really be too artsy with colored pencils, I feel. Maybe that's the issue I have with it. Although I do have to give it to one of my favorite artists, Chris Hong. She works a lot with colored pencils and watercolor, often together. She makes extraordinary, amazing art. So of course you can be artsy with colored pencils. I don't mean to put down anyone who works with colored pencils or like colored pencils. It's just not for me. I don't enjoy that process at all. Needlessly, it goes to say all of these are my preferences. They're very subjective. Just because I hate markers and cameras and colored pencils doesn't mean that I hate you who work with markers or cameras or colored pencils, or that I hate your art, okay? So please, artists, don't take any of this personally. These are just my highly subjective experiences trying these mediums. And maybe I was just introduced to them the wrong way, you know? Maybe it's the same as with oil paints. I didn't get it at first. Maybe I will in the future. But for now, if you wanted to really torture me, you would put me in a room with colored pencils and force me to draw photorealistic art or like architecture in perspective or something. That would basically kill me. Next up, we have ink wash. This is a different thing to me than using ink pens, because ink wash feels kind of like watercolor to me. And that's how I've been using it. I used a lot of ink wash in the beginning of my journey with watercolor to like learn how to put down values, how to render values. It's a great way to take color out of the picture entirely, because it can be really confusing to think about your art both in terms of value, like light and shadow, and in terms of color and color temperature and color harmony. And it gets really complicated if you're a beginner trying to learn all of these concepts at once. And so I really recommend, if you enjoy watercolors, if you want to get better at watercolor, try using ink. Try using ink wash and make monochrome art first and learn how to apply your shadows and midtones and how to work with it, because it behaves very much the same way as watercolor does, I feel. But yeah, ink wash is an occasional love affair and probably something that I will work more with in the future and get better at. Next up, we have oil pastels, and this is something that I want to try. Maybe I will enjoy oil pastels more than soft pastels. I thought it was going to be the other way around, but now I'm thinking that maybe oil pastels might be a better way for me to work with oils. I wouldn't have to use brushes, I wouldn't have to use solvents or mediums or any of that. I don't know, I'm curious about it and I'll probably try it out. But oil pastels are expensive and I'm not ready to splurge on that just yet, so it's probably gonna have to wait a while, but I'm really excited to try it because you can make stunning art with oil pastels. Up next, acrylics. Acrylics is, apart from pencils, like graphite pencils, acrylics is the medium that has been with me the longest because it's what my mom has always worked with, and so I've kind of grown up around acrylics and acrylic painting. And therefore I have dabbled quite a bit with it, and I've made the occasional painting or two. I'm used to how it works. It dries really fast. It's difficult to blend. Acrylic paintings have this really plastic matte look to them that is not for everyone. But at the same time, it's a lot easier to work with than oil paints, I feel. It's easy to clean up. It's non-toxic. You don't need solvents or mediums or any of that. And I like it. I think it's an occasional love affair. Once in a blue moon, I am in the mood for some acrylic painting. Ceramics. This is something that I would love to try. Making pots and candle holders and sculptures and cups and mugs and, glazing them in those beautiful colors so that they kind of shimmer that beautiful handmade, uneven, organic look. I really enjoy it and I would love to try that sometime. Digital art. I am pretty sure where this goes. It's something that I badly want to like. I really would like to master it someday. I have an iPad, I have an Apple Pencil, I have Procreate. I have done quite a bit of stuff in Procreate. In some ways, I really love it. I love how forgiving it is. I love that you can always erase and undo and go back, and it really makes for a great learning environment because you can experiment very quickly and easily. The thing that's lacking for me with digital art is the tactile, create stuff with your hands in real life aspect. That's kind of why I turned to art after many years of just sitting in front of a computer working with words and ideas. I just wanted to create stuff with my hands, being able to hold it and touch it and put it on my walls. And I can't get that with digital art. It's not the same thing, but I still like it. You know what? I'm gonna move this up. I'm gonna move it there because I do enjoy it sometimes. I do love it for learning. I would love to get better at illustration and digital painting. Maybe it would be more fun if I had one of those huge, expensive monitors that you can draw on. All right, our final piece. This is wood carving, and it's something that I did like in high school and middle school. I haven't really done it since then, but I know I like it and I would love to get into it again. Yeah, I always really loved shop class. Is that what it's called in English? I was one of those kids that made wooden swords and wands and ran around in the woods with them, as opposed to teddy bears and dresses or whatever. Friendship bracelets. I didn't make a lot of friendship bracelets. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, there we have it. I finally got to make my tier list. I hope it was fun for some of you and not just fun for me. Let me know in the comments what your favorite art mediums are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in some other video.